Ooga booga! I spend a lot of my time achievement hunting in either PlayStation games, Xbox games, or even Steam games, but imagine how cool it would be if older titles had achievements too. The hell is that noise? Fuck! Retro Achievements is a site that adds custom-made achievements to all of your favourite older titles, so I thought it would be a fun idea to broaden my horizons a little and attempt to 100% a set from a random game chosen by the site itself. With that said, welcome back to another episode of the Retro Randomizer. If there is a god, give me something short and sweet. Oh, it's Game Freak! Yes, the ever-loved Game Freak did not only play with small electric rats, but also regal blue slimes. Jerry Boy, or as it was known outside of Japan, Smart Ball, was actually a rather well-received platformer game released in Japan in 1991 and 1992 in North America, that somehow went on to win the Digital Content Association's Grand Prix Award for character design for... Yeah, it was a different time. One key thing about this game to be noted, however, is the difference between the two versions, as for some reason, the American version removed not only some key plot locations, but actually the entire storyline itself. It's unknown why this was done, but it means the best way to play this game is actually using a fan-made translation patch applied to the original Japan exclusive. Needless to say, that is the version I will be playing through, though I'll admit I'm not exactly expecting Game of Thrones levels of narrative. Either way, let's see what the hype was all about, and get right into Jerry Boy. Please don't take that out of context. This game started on what you may call a bit of a bad omen, as before I was able to even launch the game, my leg decided to cramp up.
Leg cramp.
My body self-destructing aside, I launched the game and was introduced to the tragic story of Jerry Boy. Long story short, there were two brothers, Jerry and Tom, who ruled a kingdom together. Jerry was set to wed the most beautiful woman in all of the land, Emmy, but of course Tom got jealous and was subsequently convinced by an evil wizard to get rid of his brother and rule the land all by himself. Together, Tom and the wizard jumped Jerry, and the wizard turned him into a slime, starting her adventure for revenge. Also, I'd like to say, but I hadn't even entered the first stage before I lost my goddamn mind.
Always look both ways when crossing the street. Remember that, kids.
Actually entering the first stage, it wasn't long before my quick control check was rudely interrupted. Oh. I guess is this my life now? Never mind, I killed him. But I was eventually able to get a good idea of the very basic mechanics given to me off the bat. Okay, so I can stretch, I can flatten, I can move, and I can sprint. And obviously I can jump as well. As well as these basic moves, I could kill just about anything by landing on it and pressing down, or alternatively pressing up to stretch into it from below. Though with this being an older SNES game, you already know a little bit of jank is pretty much guaranteed. Take this, not friend. What the fuck? Fear not though, for I got my revenge, and it was pretty worth it too, as he was actually protecting a hidden one-up. Continuing on, I would go on to make two pretty big discoveries back to back. Oh, I'm collecting the letters of Jerry. I've just noticed that. Probably took me longer to notice than most people, I'm gonna be honest. I can walk up walls. Yes, by sprinting, I could use my sticky powers to climb just about any surface. However, I couldn't climb my way out of the bottom of the barrel where I pulled this joke from. Murder the bird. Does that make that... birder? Ah, fuck, I deserved that. Adequately disappointed in my comedic chops, I proceeded forward, quickly reaching the level's end, upon which I was transported to a nearby town, where it seemed news of my disappearance had hit harder than my dad after a couple of sips of his happy juice. A couple doors down, I was also able to learn that people's houses were being destroyed by a rampaging monster, after some villagers decided it would be a brilliant idea to steal its eggs, and honestly, that sounds like reasonable karma if you ask me. Seeing as this is a video game, and free will wasn't one of the powers I got when becoming a slime, I begrudgingly trekked onwards through the ruins and rubble, eventually picking up all of the letters in the level, giving me the last extra life needed for our first achievement of the game, 9 lives. No point in guessing what that one's for. Moving forward, I eventually came face to face with a big-ass bird who would rather kindly fill me in on what was going on. Is this a boss fight? That answers my question. With the target now in my sights, I took a bit of time to learn its rather basic attack pattern, and once I had it down, it was absolute child's play. And so I took it down without taking a single hit of damage, giving me both the Birdie Boss achievement as well as Birdie Boss Damageless. Knowing I was a truly skilled individual, the game threw me straight into the deepest pit of hell as I found myself in France. Or somewhere that looks like it at least. Making my way through the sewers, for some reason, I eventually reached a town where upon moving through, I see Lady Emmy driving away in a car. So naturally, I follow her to some ruins. And what would make more sense to find in ruins than a beautiful waterfall? Oh my god, my eyes, it's so painful! But at least I was able to find a seed, which not only gave me the Jelly Seed achievement, but also allowed me to create a climbable vine wherever I needed. Though it must be stated that this item is only useful in specific situations, because I think it wanted me to use the seed here, but since I'm a slime, can't I just... Yeah. But wait, there's more. As coming to the end, I found a lovely iron ball for jelly balls of iron, which I would immediately use to take down this not-so-friendly group of birds. Much like the previous boss, all I really had to do was avoid the odd attack, and then use this iron ball that I just obtained to hit back and slowly whittle down their numbers till eventually only one line of birds remained, giving me the bird army as well as the bird army damageless. Next up, we found ourselves in a desert for some reason, where I encountered the worst type of enemy so far, a sentient Cyclops cactus. These forbidden butt plugs slowly move up and down, hurting you on contact, but the frustrating part is the fact that you can barely jump over them if timed right, and even if you do, there is most likely another one perfectly positioned to catch you when you land. But at the very least I was able to find this high jump orb for the jelly jump achievement, even if I did immediately toss it away by accident. But it's fine, because it did allow me to use the flower that I got it from to farm 9 balls total for the 9 balls achievement. It was here that I got stuck for a good 20 minutes looking for both R's in this level, constantly going back and forth until I eventually discovered that these little blue specks in the sand right here were traversable, which allowed me to notice this. What the fuck am I missing? Oh my god. That is so stupidly subtle. Going through this passage eventually led me to find a child, giving me the Lost Boy achievement and taking me to the Sand Village. Knowing I missed some letters in the previous level bugged me though, so I headed back to collect everything that I missed and this time take the normal exit to the oasis. Either way, this level was very similar to the last one, though it did include both a health buff halfway through and of course this stage's boss, a giant puff of smoke! Nah, I'm just kidding, it's a murder robot. This boss actually had 3 different stages to it that it would rotate through. The first being stepping and shooting lasers, the second being it flying around and shooting more lasers, and the final phase had it charging me head on. As soon as I noticed that it was vulnerable during its second stage, however, it was only a matter of time until I inevitably earned Defeat Desert Robot as well as Desert Robot Damageless. Meaning all I could do now was make the logical decision and fly to the moon. What the fuck? Now on the moon, our sprint stops working because reasons, and also there's bunnies. This game is weird, but at least it's not scary. That unironically scared the shit out of me. With my underpants now soiled brown, the game seemed to decide to take pity on me because that is actually the end of the level already. Now on the dark side of the moon, I was bombarded with items which can only mean one thing. This boss was easily the hardest yet, as it shoots bullets way too fast and way too close together to be able to adequately predict where they're going. That said, I just stuck to it, and after a few good attempts, I was somehow able to take it down without taking damage for the 2 achievements. Though I think the game got confused and thought I died, because upon spawning into the next area... So, did I die, or...? Yeah, I found myself in heaven. That's cool, that's cool. Just gotta... Whee! Ooh! Oh, and I see this game isn't immune to the water level curse. That's good to know. This is starting to feel a lot like hydrosit... that level. One thing I will say is that the swimming in this game is more infinitely jumping, but whatever. It wasn't enough to stop me from progressing to the next level. Oh my god, I've always wanted to go to Wales. And that sign didn't lie, but luckily for us, we can just slip out of the blowhole and move on to the next actual level. And this one has water currents, which are definitely not incredibly annoying. That said, it wasn't long until I found myself at the boss for this stage, and oh my god, it's a super fat penguin. That he is, as well as an incredibly buggy fight, as proven right here. Oh, whoops, that was not damageless. Wait, huh? So yeah, the damageless achievement popped here, even though I technically didn't earn it. But don't you worry, I did go back and do it completely legit, so you can stop writing that angry comment now. The next area I moved on to was unsurprisingly an ice level, but I was rather surprised to find a lack of any notable ice physics. But hey, I'm not complaining. What I did find, however, was a reason to change my pants. Okay. Oh, fucking. As well as a secret area that I located oh so easily, so I thought I'd reward myself a little bit. How, you ask?
A few moments later.
I just shat my guts out. Oh, and also I found this little guy. Oh my god, that's kind of cute. No, it's probably still cute. Moving on through the level, I would get absolutely cucked by the architecture. I suppose I can just go along the ceiling as well, right? Yep. Nope. Finally get some good luck on my side. How did I just do that? And then finish the level taking me to another town in which I found... Aww. Baby! Copyright aside, the next level I found myself in was a pretty cool looking ice gauntlet, complete with magicians. God, that was close. Huh? Honestly, it was a pretty damn easy level, which actually carried over to the boss, a polar bear who literally only threw ice cubes at me and then died. So if Mr. Freeze comes around asking where his pet bear is, just tell him it went to a farm upstate. Speaking of which, maybe I went with it, because I swear this is the first zone again. Oh, no, never mind. This level's vertical. I guess that means this level should be a cakewalk. Oh my god, the water's back! Oh, thank god. Well, I am sure that is the only problem I'll have here, right?
Much later.
Where's the E? Yeah, so I spent 20 minutes looking for that letter, only to eventually find it in a much earlier part of the level that you cannot get back to once you've gone past it. Not cool, game. Not cool. Completing the level takes us to a village where we discovered that Tom and Emmy will soon be married, before moving on to the next level where we find out our cute little friend from before wasn't actually alone. Oh my god, he has a brother. Oh god, he's not as friendly. Knowing what was to come, the game clearly tried to butter me up with some supplies, but no amount of items would help me as I arrived in the most painful boss arena ever. Fortunately, the boss itself was pretty easy, with it simply requiring us to dodge until it charges at us, though it did have one trick up its sleeve. Oh, that was actually pretty easy. Huh. There's a second phase. Not that it helped a ton, because just a minute later, he was donezo. Putting us in the final world of the game, a place that I can only assume is Tom's castle. The difficulty increase here immediately showed itself, as I was blocked off for a good 5 minutes by a new enemy that I had no idea how to get around. What exactly am I meant to do about you? Before the game decided it would switch from difficult to absolute bullshit. That is so hard to spot. Oh my god. That's cheap. Finishing the level with some really nasty jumps, I was able to smash my way into the church and crash the wedding between Emmy and Tom, only for the mage to turn around and turn Tom into an even bigger slime than I am. Now, I expected this fight to be difficult, but honestly, just wail on him. You can even let him suck you up and escape hit-free, but with him eventually going down, it was on to the final level of the game. And this one actually plays more like a puzzle than anything else, where you need to first grab this seed, then return to the start to plant it, then you need to backtrack once more to grab this high jump orb and use it atop the vine. With that done, it was pretty much a straight track forward to the final boss, the evil wizard, and this fight was also really easy. All you do here is kill his copies that he sends down for a ball that you can then throw at him. Rinse and repeat a couple times and it was on to the second phase. This time, instead of spawning clones, he would spawn in these giant dragon-looking guys to absolutely bombard you with shots. Avoid enough of them and he just kind of takes you on himself, getting all up in your grill. But with enough trial and error, he finally went down damageless for the 2 final boss achievements, turning us back into a human so we can reunite with our lady friend and forgive our brother even though he doesn't deserve it, marking the end of the game. But not the end of the grind, as I was missing just one last achievement, High Baller, for earning more than 500,000 points. For reference, in this playthrough that I just did, I got every collectible and beat every boss without getting hit a single time, and still only got 394,000, so this was going to be a little bit annoying. And annoying it was. I started a new game and began killing everything in sight as I made my way back through the different worlds, eventually deciding it would probably be easier to just kill all the enemies on screen than respawn them by moving far enough away. This went on, for no word of a lie, almost 2 hours, until eventually, at long last, I managed to slay enough fiends to put me over the 500,000 mark, giving me the final achievement, marking the end of this odd but rather enjoyable journey. This game was not what I was expecting when I saw Game Freak's name on the developers, but it was a good enough time nonetheless. I can't say it's a work of art, as it's pretty run-of-the-mill in terms of gameplay, so I'd give it a solid 6 out of 10 in terms of enjoyment. Either way, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time with whatever RNGesus chooses for me. Bye bye.